Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the REC Foundation Senior Director of Operations, Mr. Brad Lauer.
Good morning and good afternoon, VEX Robotics Competition High School teams. I'm sure that you tuned in to our team meeting on Sunday and to our opening ceremonies on Monday. But if you missed it, check us out on youtube.com/REC Foundation. To recap our event so far, we've completed the VRC Middle School Live Remote Skills and we've crowned Science, Technology, and Engineering Division Champions in Live Remote Tournament. Our VRC Middle School teams set a high bar. They all competed with integrity. They all showed up on time for their matches, treated our event staff and their fellow competitors with respect, and they raised the level of live remote competition across the board. I'm in awe of some of these teams, like 3333W, Power of the Square from Michigan, and 8059D, Blank from Singapore. They overcame a 1-0 deficit in their best-of-3 division finals to claim their spot in overall finals on Saturday.
Team 8059D, Blank, scoring a blue ball in goal I. Team 3333W, Power of the Square, scoring a red ball, a blue ball, and another red ball into goal I, one right after the other like it's absolutely nothing.
It was truly one of the most exciting matchups of the year. I'm also in awe of Team 488A, Tencent Dreaming Plan from China, with perfect scores in both programming and driver skills challenges in our live remote skills division. Over 750 skills challenge runs were played in our live remote console, while 96 VRC middle school teams moved on to subdivision quarterfinals after playing 210 qualification matches. We then played over 50 elimination matches yesterday, and we have only our VRC middle school division champions left. If you want to see how the story ends and who reaches the pinnacle of the VEX Robotics competition, tune in on Saturday. Overall, our staff and volunteers have been blown away by your desire to compete at the highest level. This isn't just a live remote VEX Worlds. This is the VEX Robotics World Championship. The teams winning this week are truly deserving of the title Champions of the World. During a season filled with uncertainty, you've all overachieved and shown everybody why the VEX Robotics competition is the greatest 2 minutes in robotics. But we aren't done yet. Check out this exciting update from our friend Michael at Guinness World Records.
I'd like to extend an official welcome on behalf of Guinness World Records. My name is Michael Emprick, one of the Guinness World Records experts whose job it is to measure, officiate, and judge the thousands of record attempts that are made each year. I'm excited to adjudicate this record attempt for you. Here at Guinness World Records headquarters, we're in the business of record breaking. We have a team of highly trained adjudicators to help keep track of the 50,000 records we have in our database. VEX Robotics Live Remote World Championship will be attempting the Guinness World Records title for the largest online robot championships. If successful, you will join the elite group of Guinness World Records title holders. Achieving a Guinness World Records title is no easy task. It's extremely important that all the official record guidelines are followed rigorously. If these guidelines are not followed, the attempt will be disqualified. The guidelines for the Guinness World Records title for the largest online robot championships are as follows. Participants are able to compete either individually or can be grouped in teams at the discretion of the organizers. If competing as a team, each participant must have a defined role on the team in order to be counted towards the record title. All participants must use the same online platform throughout the championships. The winner or winners of the championships must be included in the documentation. The current number to beat is 10,000 people. If the guidelines are successfully followed and the current record is surpassed, VEX Robotics Live Remote World Championship will become new Guinness World Records title holders. The team at Guinness World Records will make the final decision on the validation of your attempt and determine whether or not you have been successful. I'll be back later to let you know the official results.
Thanks, Michael, for sharing this information. On Saturday, May 29th, we hope to announce that you were part of history, part of the world's largest online robotics championship. Now, I'd like to take a few minutes to chat about our upcoming tournament. Teams were divided into 6 divisions with 12 subdivisions. Each team will receive a practice match followed by 7 qualification matches. After these qualification matches are completed, each subdivision will have alliance selection, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. A staggering 192 VRC high school teams will move into elimination matches on Saturday. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our staff, working both in Greenville, Texas, and remotely, to thank our judges, who have conducted over 700 awards interviews to date, and thank our sponsors, especially the Northrop Grumman Foundation.
Somewhere
past the edge of convention,
beyond the boundaries of tomorrow,
lies a special kind of impossible.
A kind of impossible.
Where pioneers forge ahead.
Where no idea is too bold.
And no challenge too great.
Because making a 200-ton airplane disappear is impossible.
Until it's not.
Predicting cyber attacks before they happen is impossible.
Until it's not.
And solving the mysteries of the universe is impossible.
Until it's not. It's our job to break free from what is to what could be.
Ready to leave the boundaries of what's known?
To define possible.
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 The REC Foundation also wants to recognize all of you, our students, who have contributed a great number of amazing accomplishments this year. Dan spoke about many of these accomplishments during our opening ceremony, but I'd like to recognize the contribution of one individual that has empowered our entire community to compete and strategize in live remote tournaments by building innovative mobile apps for use by teams and event volunteers alike. Let's hear from Nydia herself.
We started out 5 years ago when we were just a group of students in the Bay Area. We had a mutual interest for robotics, and we decided to get together and start the Club Paradigm. And I think we've grown so much. We've shared so many ideas over the years. This year, specifically, I was very skeptical about LRT at first because after participating in these in-person tournaments for several years, I wasn't sure how all the aspects of that were going to be transferred online. But it was really fun to compete in the comfort of our own garage. The biggest advantage was we were able to compete with teams from across the world. And this was before the actual Worlds, because in previous seasons, we would just compete with local teams because we couldn't really travel that far. But with LRT, we were able to compete with teams from Singapore, Washington, like the East Coast. And yeah, we've never been able to do that before. So I thought that was a really good advantage. The live remote tournament, like it involves a lot of strategy. It's like placing one ball in a different goal will sometimes flip the outcome of the match. And it's very hard to figure out all of these nuances while you're playing the match. And all the calculations involved make it a lot harder to just estimate. So therefore, I decided to write this app, and it made it easy for me, as well as other teams participating in LRT, to just figure out these small details that will allow them to win a match. And for example, like if you input a particular strategy and you input what your opponents are likely going to play in the match, you can figure out what you can do to beat them based on strategy. And even if you're not even stronger than the other team, there's actually some strategies that would allow you to beat them. This is my first time building a web app. I've built Android apps in the past, but it was pretty different to build a web app. A lot more teams can strategize better using the app, because previously, even us, when we were starting out, we didn't know what we were supposed to do for LRT, since it's so different than in person. So we kind of just played around with a few strategies using the app, and then we figured out how to precisely beat another team, and I think that helps us a lot. So I'm hoping that other teams will also be able to use it in this way and just become better at LRT in general. Some advice to give teams is never give up, and oftentimes your first ideas and designs don't really work out. And that's okay, because you're going to need several iterations in order to get your final design and what works for you.
Thanks, Nydia. I'd like to continue recognizing our VEX innovators. Let's take a moment to recognize a true legend in the VEX Robotics Competition High School Division.
What do you remember about Team 44 Green Egg Robotics?
A lot. In my high school team, particularly with Free Range Robotics, we were a homeschool team. Green Eggs were a homeschool team. Mm-hmm. Every year we were watching to see when they would release something on the internet, when something would be leaked. Mm-hmm. It was always Team 44 we were looking for, Green Eggs. Yeah, it was just a matter of they always came up with something, again, slightly different. You looked at their robots and there was something going on, particularly like in Roundup. They came with a completely revolutionary robot and we were like, wow. And I know we changed our strategy entirely based on that moment.
Tell me what you know about them.
I had an upfront first row seat to their playing career. Before I moved down here to Texas to serve my current role, I was the regional support manager for Massachusetts, Green Egg Robotics from Oakham, Massachusetts, and I got to see them compete dozens and dozens of times. And when I say I got to see them compete dozens and dozens of times, it means I got to see them win dozens and dozens of times. They're a really exciting team. They're an unbelievably dominant team in the area.
Brad, what makes this team unique to you?
Man, I have to tell you, this team is truly an innovator in the competition, truly legends in the competition community. It really was like every competition they were competing against themselves. They weren't necessarily not competing against their opponents or their competition, but it was really about them having these amazing ideas about the best strategies to play the game, the best strategies to score the most number of points in whatever game they were playing. And they built robots against themselves, trying to always improve that score. And win or lose, they went back, they tore their robot apart, and they rebuilt what I consider almost a brand new one for every competition. But in my opinion, what really made them innovators was the fact that they learned as much from their wins as from their losses. It's something that I think all VEX teams and all VRC teams, heck, all people should aspire to do. They turned robotics into sport. In the moments that they competed in VEX World's finals, it wasn't two groups of kids who built robots. It was two teams, two titans clashing in an arena. It was the same as a boxing match, the same as a pro football game. These guys elevated the VEX Robotics competition to something even greater.
Back in February, we called on the VEX community to nominate people that they thought elevated the the term VEX Robotics through their hard work and their innovation. We are so excited to be able to tell you that you have been chosen as this year's VEX Innovators by the community.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow. Thank you.
How does it feel to be recognized as legends within the community?
It's really nice. I mean, it was so much work and it was so fun, but it's really fun when I've had people come up to me and they're just so interested in what I've spent so much time on, and to be able to just inspire people by doing what I love is pretty amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, similarly to what Lee said, we didn't do it for recognition at all. We did it because we loved it, and yeah, it was the time of our lives. So,
Bill, how does it feel to have your boys recognized as legends?
Well, as a parent, you always know that your kids are legends, but actually, I'm very, very proud. I'm very proud, and I'm always amazed at what they did, and always amazed at what they continue to do together. And I'm very happy that they've been able to inspire so many students out there and teams. We're not big posters on the forum, or never were. Just kind of went about our work on a local level, and kind of quietly, and tried to be supports to people in our area. And I'm really excited for them that they were able to reach so many people.
Do you have a message for the VEX Robotics community?
Keep creating and keep iterating and just keep making it better. Just don't stop until you have to compete, basically. It can always be better. Just remember that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, enjoy it. Doesn't last that long. Yeah, enjoy it.
And Bill, as a coach and a father of a robotics team, do you have any words of advice or words of wisdom for other coaches and parents out there?
I don't know that this will work for everybody, but stay out of their way. let the creative process happen. Support them in helping them to succeed, and when they fail, use that as a learning opportunity. Clearly, they did a lot of it on their own, and it was pretty easy to stay out of the way.
Congratulations, Team 44. Lastly, I want to thank you for the opportunity to bring VEX World into each of your classrooms, garages, living rooms, kitchens, libraries, and backyards. Good luck to each of you. I'm so impressed at what we've accomplished together. To all 25 countries competing this morning, let's get this competition started.